I live in a condominium with my mom, and I've picked up another hostile. Picked up another hostile. I've had a couple run-ins with this thing. I wouldn't even call her a woman. She, she's a very ugly little beast. Uh, Ugly little beast, angry, ugly little beast, and her son has already been raped by some unknown male or sexually abused in some way. Showed up here getting bodily fluids over my mother's front door, which she ended up getting on her hands, and then physically attacked me 4 times over in front of witnesses and on camera, and 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 in front of her, And I hadn't run into her for a while, and you could see like the resentment that she holds towards me for confronting this sick and depraved young man. He's not in the state that he was in. He was not a child. He was on meth. This was not a child. This was just a violence waiting to happen. And vandalized the building, disabled an emergency exit, got bodily fluids over the building, attacked me, threatened the life of my mother, and the police came and didn't do anything. Of course, so I didn't want to go into that because that's them. That's what they do. Of course, the police don't do anything. That's what they do. Nothing. Um, and because domestically anything can go on. The police aren't really going to do all that much, and they didn't want to see what I had on tape. I wasn't going to charge this poor fuck with anything. I mean, the guy wouldn't survive one day in jail, right? But and it wouldn't be good for his life. But there's really not much that's going to be at this point. And this thing has another child, a little girl, and I can't believe we allow these creatures, so-called women, to have children. Now she's fucking some new guy. I'm guessing the old guy's the person who probably fucked with her son, who's about 16 years old. And anyway, I ran into her. You can see she's just a hive of murderous rage going on toward me. So a lot of misplaced anger, right? Misplaced anger, no responsibility, no humility. And she's got a guy with her. I don't know him. I didn't, I was respectful. I don't know who this guy is. Her boyfriend, apparently a business owner, local business owner. Who the fuck knows what he seemed like an okay dude. But then they always do. Like the really bad predators, they always seem like decent people, right? So, um, and she's in this building, right? I know which apartment she's in, right? And she better keep her nose fucking clean. I'll tell you that. I fucking cursed her several times over. But something else I done and I will do today is that when this young man was on meth and leaving bodily fluids and attacking me and my mother and then being put to bed by the nice police officers, um, who don't give a fuck about what's going on at all because they're codependent communist bureaucrats. Um, there's other homeowners here that got involved, and they seem to be more concerned about me than this guy leaving bodily fluids. I mean, they're just fucking out of their minds. But they figured out that they better not fuck with me, so they're pretty polite to me now. They just have no morals, right? And as evidence of that, um, one of them, his name is Tony, had a young girl sleeping outside his condo near the top of the building who didn't have any place to live. And he just fucking called the police and had her dropped off at McDonald's. And she's 16 years old. So I'm doing curses, if you will, or power projection to be with her. It just really struck my heart, and it's stayed with me. And I've got 2 massive pentacles, 2 massive magical areas that I use, and I'll probably be heading out there somewhere that way today. And I'm gonna be sending her a lot of support, the best that I can, because really it's just about things going your way and being protected. I don't know how many times in life I've come into contact with so many losers, basically just white losers from middle class, upper middle class families, and white people are such fucking losers. I've met so many different kinds of children from so many different kinds of families, and they get into their 20s and 30s and they get into their 40s and 50s, and they're just such complete fucking losers. They're such complete fucking losers. I mean, maybe they have parents no better than my own. My parents weren't parents. My mom was never a mom. My dad was never a dad. They've never even read a book on what that would be. The closest thing they know about that is maybe reading a paperback novel or watching a movie. But I just dealt with a lot of lowlifes, and I think it takes a lot of luck to get through this world without getting brought down by lowlifes, many of whom have their own issues, this, that, the other. And you really have to ask yourself, is this person of any use to me? Does this, if someone doesn't have the poise, the core energy to respect you and to be courteous to other people, watch how they behave, then they don't have anything. They're just dying, right? People who are courteous are living. People who are not courteous, people who, whatever their problems, are selfish, unruly, violent, or in any other way ugly, those people are dying. And people, like in this apartment, people in this apartment are dying. They just die every year, they just die off. And they have no core morals at all. Their morals is they made their money, whatever. You got a 16-year-old girl helpless, and you don't do fuck all for it. You got a young boy who's been raped. I told the police officer, he told me he's been raped. They don't give a fuck, right? And when I saw that mother for the first time, I didn't really look at her, and she walked by me. You could just feel the hatred in this woman. She hasn't got any fucking grip at all on being a decent human being, and she clearly just goes through men and is looking for the father of her next child. I mean, these are some sick fucking people. And I've had run-ins with her before, and she has no fucking boundaries. Has no fucking boundaries whatsoever. They're the kind of people that they rationalize anything, right? They'll rationalize anything. It's never them, it's never their son, it's never their family, it's never anything. And as a result, the people around them, including their son, just suffer. And it's such a profound sickness. The capacity for denial, the capacity for rationalization of the communist taxpayer, basically the communist codependent bureaucratic peon, that you cannot really expect anything from anybody. You can't expect things from people. It's amazing to me that if someone is not a psychopath, because essentially what sociopaths figure out is that nobody fucking cares about anyone, so they should just fucking be out for themselves. That's basically what the average sociopath lives like. And a lot of those people look like they're actually interested in other people, but they're just getting theirs. Most people in society are just getting theirs. They're just getting theirs. When it really comes down to being there for a brother and sister, not that you have to give them your last $5 or the shirt off your back. That's not what it's about. Give them your genuine concern. Do the next thing. Do the thing you can do, or do nothing. And just picking up the phone and calling the police and getting a 16-year-old homeless girl sent to a local McDonald's is not it. You're not fucking doing anything. Right? You're not doing fuck all. And these people have millions of dollars, right? Nothing. Right? Someone could come to them for help and they would just turn them away. Now, granted, you don't want to bring everyone in that needs help. I've brought homeless people into my house, and I've had things stolen every time. You get the women try to rape you, the guys steal things. I had a couple homeless guys in my house for a month. I let them stay there for free. They stole things. They vandalized property. They stole things from neighbors. I mean, I had to kick them out. They just had no fucking morals whatsoever. So, a lot of homeless people are degenerate. Essentially, unfortunately, they've been pushed into the level of degeneracy. They do deserve clemency and compassion, but that's not my ball of wax. You know what I mean? They need something I can't give them. If I would say that anyone who can fucking hold themselves a little bit, whatever conditions they've been in, like I've had hard conditions in my life, but I'm a decent human being. And those people, they should be given a nice place to stay. I get to live on disability. I'm living in my mom's condo here. I have something nice around me, and I keep it by being decent. My mom sexually assaulted me and dislocated my shoulder with a fat woman at the end of the hallway last Christmas Day. Right? We haven't even opened any presents yet, and my mom just fucking went into a murderous rage. And that's what she does. And she barely even remembers. I 3 months later, I said to my mom, "Do you think you have anger issues?" She said no. She was offended. Right? So you see, like, if you don't have a healthy mind, if the person beside you doesn't have a healthy mind, you're fucked. Right? Or like me, you live in a world where I've never met a healthy woman. I've never met a healthy woman. I've never met a sane woman. I don't need to administer a fucking test. You can tell they're insane. I don't want to go into all. I mean, so many people meet women, and I could, if you pay attention when you meet a woman, you'll see in the first minute you meet them that they're liars, that they have no morals, and they have no reason, right? But that if they're straight, they like men and they want dick, right? And they think they're nice people. And I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be crude. Like, they're people, they're humans, they're women, they're amazing, right? But they're also degenerate because the world has made them that way, right? They're communists. They're communists. Like, especially when I see pretty women, I think, who would want to fuck you? Because it's almost like their beauty reveals their ugliness even more. I would rather someone who has some humility. Like, you never see anyone, man or woman around here, that thinks for themselves. You would see, very rarely. I saw a young girl once. I was at the local civic center and a bunch of girls walked by. And of course, 9 out of 10 of them are all just silly, fat, ugly fucking little cunts, right? But there's one ethereal young woman walking by herself outside the rabble, and you could see that's a fucking decent human being right there, right? The quiet ones that keep to themselves. And they have some poise about them. Everyone else is just, right? If you're going to high school and your friends are just like, I just want to have a good time, right? That's not normal. That's not normal. That's just stress anyway. And that's what people with crude, disturbed minds, that's what retards behave like, right? Poise is the name of the day, right? You see, if you're going to live a long time, you got to see a long way. And if you've got a long journey and you see a long way, you carry yourself a certain way. People that are going to live long, moral people are people who are going to live a long time. They see a long way and they move and they think and they live because they see a long way. And in order to see a long way, they have to see a lot of things around you that other people don't see. People like me. You have to see things around you. You let yourself feel things. You don't ignore all the pain, right? You have to ignore some of it. If we couldn't ignore pain on some level, we'd all fucking be dead right now because the world is in so much pain. It's hard for a depressed person to get out of bed in the morning. Why? Because they feel so much of the pain in the world. And yet they treat depression like it's just an isolated chemical disorder. It's not. People are depressed because they feel all the fucking pain and angst around them, right? And society doesn't want to give. It doesn't want to say, oh, yeah, everyone's in pain. We better stop doing this. We better stop working 50 hours a week and sending children through the fucking communist pipeline. No. So every single person who feels that pain, right, you get depressed, you're going to give you drugs, they're going to drug you, they're going to give you some stupid fucking new age book to read about telling yourself you're a nice person and God loves you or some shit. And it's like, the fact is you're feeling pain. And if you're depressed, you have a good start in being a visionary and living a long time because you feel things, you see things. And if you're going to live a long time, you have to see a long way. And if you have to see a long way, you have to see and feel a lot of stuff. People that are depressed are among the people who are going to live the longest, best lives on this planet. People who are anxious are people who are going to live the longest, best lives on this planet. But if you solve that depression, right, by becoming a homosexual, for instance, which is how a lot of people solve their anxieties, right? And fair enough. I mean, because a lot of people who are depressed have been sexually abused by their parents. And so they become lesbians and homosexuals. And that's fair. That's a solution. That is a solution. It's a temporary solution, but it's a solution. And you have to be careful because there are other problems that come with that, right? That's a solution, though. I don't deny that's a fair solution. If the world is going to fuck with you that much that you can be a homosexual, you should be, right? Because it's like, fuck. I mean, if you really need to do that, find something and someone safe and do it. And I don't give a fuck. That's fine. It's no more disgusting than sticking a dick in a pussy. I don't care, right? But understand that there are risks, and that's not normal original sex function. It's not sex, but that's okay. This isn't sex either, but it's okay for me to do it, right? If I have an itch, a homosexual has an itch and they need to scratch it. It's not sex, but go scratch your itch. Absolutely. Safely, go scratch your itch. I have nothing against that. Go scratch all your itches if you have an itch in your ass and you need to stick a dick in there to get it solved, go ahead. But, and you might even find people who can scratch your itch that love you for a little while. but it's never going to be stable and it's never going to be long term. It can't be. You'd be lucky to get that with the opposite sex. So if we look at the world the way it is, it's dangerous, it's deadly, it's full of sick people. It's dangerous, it's deadly, it's full of sick people. It looks a lot more pleasant than it is. It looks a lot more friendly than it is. Everyone with a job thinks they're part of something. Everyone thinks they know about the world. Everyone thinks they know what the biggest problems are. Everyone thinks they know, how much faith you should have in your government and this. The people who want to control the world, I say, let them, right? You want to deposit a little money in my bank account? Go ahead. I make the most of my circumstances. I'm an honest man. I have a little poise. And frankly, if you want to do work in this world, the only work you need to do is to actually just carry yourself from day to day with some poise, because every nervous system in the world has enough work to do. Just dealing with all the pain we've created just by putting our heads down and fucking working. Just doing your job turns you, all that gives you is the book of Job. Just doing your job. You get the book of Job for eternity, right? Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Maybe you make some money, maybe you don't. Maybe you pay the bills, maybe you don't. Maybe it turns out, maybe it doesn't. It's really fucking risky just to work all your life. It's a very deadly decision. It's an important decision. I respect whatever decision you make, but understand it's difficult. It's enough of a job just taking your nervous system, like spinal fluid and the spine, and dealing with all the pain that's been created because everyone thinks they know how to fucking live in this world, and they don't. Because they can't see how much pain there is, and they don't feel it. So they portray someone who's okay. I see people all the time. I meet people of different ages, and they present as very strong and very healthy. They're very confident. They've lived these lives. They've got this money. And they're nothing. They're empty vacuoles. They're shitbags. They can't talk about anything. They have no morals. They know what is right in their own mind. They know the right things to say. They know the right things to think. They know the right things to believe. In that sense, yes, they're supremely moral. They know what to do about everything. They know what to say. They know everyone should behave. They know what everything should be. They know everything about the world and how it should be. But they're not moral. They know nothing about what is true or good. Because they don't give a fuck about themselves or anyone. They're just playing an act. And like someone being a homosexual because they have to, and it's a solution, playing an act is a solution. Being Jane and Joe Bob is a solution. And that's fine. Go scratch your itch. But it's not necessarily a good long-term solution, and you shouldn't expect me or other people around you to want to follow. It is a work in itself, just dealing with the world. I get paid to deal with the world every day. It's work enough. When I see in this building, what I see passing me in the hall, what I see these fucking rich people do, I don't respect any of them. And it's interesting staying with my mom, because I'll tell her things that I pick up from people, and she never fucking believes me. And I'll tell her again, and I'll tell her again, and she never fucking believes me. But it's something you could see the first time you meet someone. And there's been several couples in this building where the woman is killing the man. The woman is killing the man. The woman is killing the man. Every fucking time. This woman, this so-called mother, is killing her son. And she's just full of pride and hatred. Ugliest fucking thing I ever saw in my life. A pretty girl, though, has no trouble getting dick, undoubtedly, since she was very young. And when I saw her son, I said, I want you fucking guys out of this building. You're scum and you're losers and you shouldn't even be here. And I don't want them here. I don't want them around my mother. My mother got fucking bodily fluids on her hands because of this fucking family. They're disgusting. But I've had January, February, March, April, May, June. So now 6 months to deal with sexual physical assault from my mother, who'll be returning home in a few minutes. She's a lovely lady. She seems to be doing well. The interesting thing about sexual physical assault from women, and I've been raped multiple times, all by women that I knew, I've talked about Felicity Kelly, Nicole Boyd, Laura Barth. I mean, I could name off names of women who raped me. And the only sex I've ever had, which isn't really sex, by the way, is that it's their problem. Like, I just want my mom to be well. I want her to stop being a sexual predator. But the thing is that she has no morals. She doesn't think about anything, right? And it's interesting that the people who don't think about anything, you can see them. You can see them even when they're young. I've met children, you could tell they're never going to think about anything. You can see that. My brother was like that. You can see he's a guy who's never going to think about anything. Those are the people that end up fitting into the general malaise of the system. They're just the average communist, no matter who they are, no matter how educated they are. They never fucking think about anything. They never put anything together. And that's what keeps us all going, is that nobody ever puts anything together. The moment few people start putting shit together, right, those people's lives will change. And then, there is a humanity here to be saved. There are brothers and sisters in this world to be helped, to be kind to. Right? And they live inside everyone in a way, and everyone deserves a certain degree of kindness. But very few people really deserve for you to hold your tongue and to hold your judgment and to pretend like you don't see and you don't feel and you don't know that something is terribly sick about the way they're behaving, if not the way they are. And every fucking sick person has a story. And none of these stories are ever going to end well. If we don't start teaching people that no matter what the fuck has happened to you, you carry yourself with a certain decency and poise, or you can expect a very short life. Right? My life could have been very limited because of the violence that I endured, because I had every reason to lose my poise. I had every reason to give up. I had every reason to just say, I'm a bad person. I'm attracting all these violent people. There must be something wrong with me. No. The world's just full of a lot of sick people. And a lot of the sickest people are very good at making you and me think that they're good people. And you and I are very good at wanting to see the best in people so we don't look at the other shit. And people aren't always trying to be deceptive. It's just that's the way they are. They've got their pain, they've got their solutions, and they think their solutions are something they should focus on because they don't like to focus on their pain. It's understandable. Who wants to say, hey, I haven't figured anything and I'm just in pain and I'm 50 years old? But that's what most of them should do. It would be the first honest day of their life since they were born.